more than 30,000 stores distributed in 94 countries, and about 380,000 employees, with a total annual income estimated in 2021 at about $35,976 as the profits of the Starbucks company last year. Starbucks Coffee has 71 branches around the world. They really are everywhere almost. The story of Starbucks doesn't begin in the year 1991, as official records give its history, but rather in completely different way. It isn't the Starbucks you know now. It is the one that was founded in early 1980s. In that year, Starbucks wasn't the same thing you know now. The giant automated superstores where you get the best coffee drinks quickly. At that time, it was a small store selling tea and coffee attached to a small factory in the city of Seattle, in the western state of Washington. No branches, no huge brands. Just a small store in a remote US state. This small store had published an advertisement requesting a marketing manager with good experience who would perform the usual traditional marketing tasks, a completely ordinary, routine job, looking like someone managing the marketing of a small store whose founders had little ambition. Indeed, a number of applicants applied for the position, including a young man who seemed intelligent named Harold Schultz, a nice young man who had worked in a number of marketing companies and demonstrated great excellence in this field, which undoubtedly qualified him to join the job. Indeed, he was accepted as marketing director in the small company, and Schultz's entry into the story was the first step in the first chapter of Starbucks history. Schultz joined the job. He worked a little on performing his natural rules. Then over time he began to discover that the entire market offered almost the same product without any difference. The same cafes serving the same coffee products in the same way, in the same style, with the same methodology, nothing special or different. It is the same product but different brands. He decided to look for a new way through which he could market the same products but in a different way this time, to make Starbucks a different in the market. His destination was to one of the countries in the world that loves coffee the most, and the countries in the world that are most artistic in marketing and presenting food products and drinking in general. A new way to drink and serve coffee. Schultz traveled to Italy to search for offers for his company. He noticed that Italian coffee is slightly different from American coffee, and this originally a mixture of Nescafe coffee and espresso. He also noticed an important thing that was not as usual then as it is now, which is that Italians drinks coffee in large spaces and sit for long hours talking and discussing while drinking coffee, and discussing as the custom of the people of the Mediterranean, and not only for work or walking as it is usual in the United States. Here he realized the experience of the marketer that is this unique blend was presented, where coffee includes a different flavor from the flavors of coffee in America, and also a different presentation method from what is prevalent The idea will definitely work exceptionally well. He decided to implement it as soon as he returned. However, the company's owners, those with traditional thinking, rejected the idea of opening cafes as Schultz saw it, and told him that the company's only role was to sell coffee and tea in bulk to other stores and cafes, and that it was not a cafe in the first place, but merely a restaurant. The company's owners refused to develop the store and turn it into a cafe, so Schultz resigned from the company due to the narrow-mindedness of its owners, even though the idea was still playing around in his head. The beginning of the story of the Starbucks we know. In the mid-80s, he decided to implement his idea himself, so he opened a special cafe in the same style he saw in Italy, and he worked to market it very significantly in the city of Seattle. The cafe, which Schultz opened himself, served hot drinks and baked goods in a large area for discussion and conversations with a modern, comfortable, and elegant feel, similar to fast food restaurants. The cafe that Schultz founded achieved great success in record time, which made Schultz completely certain of the strategy of his marketing trend that he adopted from the beginning. He was certain that he was right. Then another marketing opportunity was presented to him, which Schultz didn't miss and quickly seized. Starbucks, the company that he resigned from due to the bad behavior of its managers, was experiencing a managed downturn in the market and appeared to be up for sale. With a marketer's mentality, Schultz realized that although Starbucks was a very traditional company, it had an old brand in the American market, so he made an offer to buy it immediately and succeeded in doing so. Here, Schultz was able to combine his marketing ideas in manufacturing and presenting a different brand product on the one hand and packaging it with a fairly well-known brand name on the other hand. Then he was able to quickly promote the marketing of Starbucks within the United States and the world using franchise method, selling the brand and putting the company on the stock exchange, bringing the number of Starbucks branches around the world. Today, more than 3,000 stores distributed in 94 countries and about 318,000 employees, with a total annual income estimated in 2021 at $5 billion. It can be said that the story of Starbucks depends entirely on the distinctive marketing of an ordinary idea, presenting coffee differently and in a different way. Schultz didn't invent anything exceptional, except that he pretended the product that people were accustomed to in a different way. The origins of Starbucks name. Starbucks name is derived from the chapter Starbucks in her main beliefs. Moody Duck thought it was a second choice after the name Peacock was dismissed. The signature aroma. Starbucks works hard to maintain its distinct coffee aroma by banning smoking, perfumes, and stop smelling foods, ensuring the smell of coffee remains pure in their store. Apron colors and dress code. Starbucks employees wear various aprons with a specific meaning, such as green for standard staff and black for coffee masters, and the dress code was strict with rules on hair color, jewelry, and clothing to maintain a clean and professional appearance. Global presence. Starbucks is known for extensive global presence with locations in 63 countries and high concentration in cities like New York and Shanghai. In some US regions, one is never far from Starbucks. Round tables. The round tables at Starbucks are designed to make customers feel less lonely and more at home, reflecting the company's thoughtful approach to store design. Secret locations. Starbucks has experimented with Seattle location like Fifth Ave Coffee and Tea and the upscale Starbucks receiver brand, aiming to attract different customers' basics and test new concepts. Skirts. High street coffee shops. Giant Starbucks has been catched up in a child labor row after an investigation revealed that children under 13 were working on farmers in Gotobla that supplies the chain with its beans. Channel 4 dispatches filmed the children working 40-hour weeks in grueling conditions, picking coffee for a daily wage little more than the price of a latte. The beans are also supplied to Nespresso, owned by Nestle. Last week, actor George Clooney, the advertising face of Nespresso, praised the investigation and said he was saddened by its finding. The dispatches team said some of the children who were working around 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, looked as young as 8. They were paid depending on the weight of beans they picked, with sacks weighing up to 45 kilograms. Typically, a child would earn less than £5 a day, although sometimes it could be as low as 31 pence an hour. Over the course of the investigation, dispatches visited 7 farmers linked to Nespresso and 5 linked to Starbucks. Child labor was found on all of the farms. A human rights lawyer who viewed some of the program's evidence suggests both companies were in breach of international labor resolution laid down by the UN's International Labour Organization. The conversations are very clear in that they don't want children's education to be compromised, said Oliver Holland. If children are working 40 hours a week, there's no way they can also be having a proper education. These are all unsafe conditions for children essentially, and in those conditions children simply shouldn't be working. Dispatches collected that of 2.5 pounds spent on a typical cup of coffee on the high street. The shop receives 88 pence, staff receive 63 pence, and 38 pence goes on tax. A profit of 25 pence goes to the coffee company such as Starbucks, which has an annual global revenue of more than £20 billion and has already 1,000 shops in the UK alone. 1 pence goes to the farmer, who uses a fraction of this to pay coffee bakers. Starbucks also said it has a zero tolerance for children labor anywhere in our supply chain. It told dispatch, "We have launched a full investigation into the claims brought by Channel 4, carried out in partnership with a leading third-party audience. Starbucks has since said that its investigation confirmed we have not brought coffee from the farms in question during the most recent harvest season. Nespresso's chief executive said Nespresso has zero tolerance of child labor acceptable where there claims that our high standards are not met. We act immediately. In this case, we have launched a thorough investigation to find out which farmers were filmed and whether they supply Nespresso. We will not resume until the investigation is closed. Any issues we uncover will be dealt with diligently and firm action will be taken. Starbucks, other companies accused of using chocolate produced by slave labor. 2020 Starbucks crop. The company sells chocolate produced with cocoa farmed by children and slaves in West Africa, but tell customers it is ethically sourced. Starbucks, aware that cocoa farmed in West Africa relies heavily on child labor and slavery. The suit says labor that the chocolate is made from ethically sourced cocoa in stark contrast with reality, said the suit. Tulane University studies found more than 2 million children work on cocoa plantations. There are many child labor in Africa because the price is very low and farmers there need money very much. Starbucks succeed in marketing and now everyone knows what Starbucks is.